Call the Tuesday, March 29th meeting of the St. Joseph County Board of Commissioners to order. Please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, I will note Commissioner Fleming and I are in the room, and Commissioner Dieter is joining us remotely. First item on the agenda, opening and reading of bids. There are none. Moving on to reports and requests. First item is the accounts payable docket. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Dieter, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Fleming, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Castelny, how do you vote?
Aye. Motion passes. Next up, we have appointments to the redevelopment commission. I will now open nominations.
I don't have.
Nominate Carl Baxmeyer.
Yeah, Carl Baxmeyer. I would recommend him, yes.
So is that a second? You seconding that, Commissioner Fleming?
Yes, I will second that.
Commissioner Dieter, how do you vote?
I vote aye.
Commissioner Fleming, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Castelny, how do you vote?
Aye. Moving on to infrastructure planning and growth. Resolution R8C 2022 St. Joseph County Board of Commissioners authorizing lease of property.
So resolution Bill Shallow with Economic Development, part of Infrastructure Planning and Growth Offices on the 7th and 11th floor. Resolution R8C 2022 and the farm lease are for property at 56275 Snowberry Road. This is property owned by the Board of Commissioners. This is property that we've done a farm lease with Jeff Corman or the Corman family for multiple years. We've had the property appraised. The average value price for farm rent this year is $215. So we'd ask for you to approve the resolution and the farm lease for $215 per acre for 18.17 acres for this property at 56275 Snowberry Road. Any questions? I'd be happy to answer them.
Are there in fact any questions or comments from the board? Is there a motion?
Motion to approve this resolution R-8-C-2022 for the St. Joseph County Commissioners authorizing the lease of property.
Second.
Commissioner Dieter, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Fleming, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Castelny, how do you vote?
Aye. Next, farmland lease between St. Joseph County Board of Commissioners, landlord, and Jeff Corman, tenant.
This would be the land lease associated with the resolution that you just approved. Any questions? I would be happy to answer them.
Are there in fact any questions?
No questions. I was just wondering that too. I was looking at it going, oh, I think that's the same cover. Yeah, farmland. So that's good. Yes, thank you.
If there are no more questions, is there a motion?
Motion to approve this farmland lease.
Second.
Commissioner Dieter, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Fleming, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Castelny, how do you vote?
Aye. Takes us to old business, of which there is none. Move on to public comments. Are there any public comments?
Yes.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Charlotte Wolf, 21439 Osborne Road, Lakeville. And I have, how much time do I have? I just have one page.
3 minutes.
Okay. I'm 60 and I've lived in St. Joseph County since 1990. I am a small farmer and a scientist by training. I run an 85-acre learning farm where we teach folks of all ages about gardening, livestock, horseback riding, and nature. I have a passion for helping make things better for our community and world. I've been involved in community work all my life. My first project as a third grader was a poster about picking up litter. It's not easy for me to take time to come to meetings in South Bend, but I feel an urgency now that I need to speak to this body and become more involved in the county's plans and dreams for the future. In addition to my comments today, I offer my time and whatever knowledge I've gained to this body, to the Area Plan Commission and the Comprehensive Plan revision process. I believe that participation in our democracy and the benefits that we enjoy thereby compels every one of us to create positive change. That we have the freedom to do this is the very definition of democracy. Even just by voting, we help create this positive change. Any powers that hinder this right are against democratic principles. Democracy is governance of the people by the people. I remind this body that you are here to represent the will of all the people in our county. In following current events, I've noticed that the city and county have separate governance. This hinders our current challenges of creating jobs near where people live, in my opinion. Focusing on creating jobs out in rural areas of the county makes very little sense from a sustainability point of view. If the jobs are out away from where most job seekers live, then a transportation infrastructure has to be created to ferry people to and from those jobs. Farmland has to be utilized for industry, which would be better situated in the city. Spending money, resources, fuel, et cetera, to develop raw farmland and create infrastructure would be better used creating jobs in South Bend. Our founding fathers knew this and created Studebaker and other industry on what are currently brownfields. But for these ideas to fully take root, the city and council must work together closely. In the past decade, I've been studying a governance model known as sociocracy. Essentially, it's government by consensus, not majority. Other names are passing the talking stick, circle governance, consensus governance. All members of the circle have to agree and issues are discussed until all agree. Governance circles overlap. So for this example, 1 to 2 people on the city council would also serve on the county council. Other overlapping circles can form, even if temporary. These circles overlap and can consist of unelected or elected members. You could call those advisory circles. This method of governance ensures that all viewpoints are invited, represented, and respected. Many people would say that introducing ideas such as this means that we are trying to change the system, even to the point of reevaluating our method of voting in commissions and councils. To that, I would answer yes. Changing the system is the goal. If the system itself is creating obstacles to sustainability, then the only way to create positive change is to change the system.
Thank you so much. Your 3 minutes are up.
Thank you.
And here is a link to this process and my written statement. And here is my information. I don't know how many of these you need. Oh, sure.
So you're in Lakeville?
And yes, I'm in Lakeville, and I put my email on there, and it's also on the card if you want that digitally, so you can click the link.
That's
Awesome. Any other public comments?
Thank you.
Are you taking Zoom comments at this time?
You're not.
Sure.
Okay.
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
Thank you for your work this morning. Deborah Durrell, 21677 Otten Road, South Bend. I'd like to read from the writings of Jane Goodall, an award-winning scientist. There had been a significant gathering of religious leaders to discuss the dreadful things that were happening to our environment, and all had agreed to include messages of warning to their flocks. The only ray of hope was that more and more of these issues moved out into the public domain. More and more people were able to see that we had made and were continuing to make horrible mistakes, that people in the developed countries had come to believe that a high standard of living was their right. The ability to reach beyond their upbringing, their culture, and their immediate surroundings has always, I realize, been a characteristic of the greatest spiritual leaders and saints. Ordinary people like you and me will have to become saints, or at least mini saints. I imagine them standing as though on a bridge suspended between God and earth, and it was this image that led to this poem. The world has need of them, those who stand on the bridge, who know the pain in the singing of a bird and the beauty beyond the flower dying, who have heard the crystal harmony within the silence of a snow-peaked mountain. For who but they can bring life's meaning to the living dead? Oh, the world needs those standing on the bridge, for they know how eternity reaches to earth in the wind that brings music to the leaves of the forest, in the drops of rain that caress the sleeping life of the desert, in the sunbeams of the first spring day in an alpine meadow. Only they can blow the dust from the seeing eyes of those who are blind. Oh, let them not desert us, those on the bridge, those who have known love and the freedom of the night sky, and know beyond meaning of the moon's existence beyond man's fumbling footsteps into space. For they know the eternal power that encompasses life's beginnings and gathers up its endings and lays them like Joseph's coat on the never-changing, always moving canvas that stretches beyond the universe and is contained in the eye of a little frog. A life lived in the surface of humanity, a love and respect for all living things, those attributes are the essence of saint-like behavior. Indeed, every one of us has a role to play. Yes, each one of us carries seeds for change. But we do not have the luxury of millions of years for all humans to become true saints. So we will simply have to try, each and every one of us, to become just a little bit more saint-like. That surely we can do.
Thank you. Any other public comments from in the room?
Dan Caruso, 305 Compton Street, New Carlisle. Good morning. If I'd known you were going to feed us, I wouldn't have gorged myself in town. Just a couple of comments on the state of things today. I was happy to hear that the county is leasing to Mr. Corman the property to farm. I would encourage them to do that with any property they hold over in New Carlisle, because right now it is a seller's market and no buyer, particularly a smart businessman buyer, is going to buy in when the prices are this high. And what worries me is if we do get word that somebody is buying in, what the details are, what's gone on behind the scenes, what deals have been worked out, what's been given away, what's going to be allowed to be poured into our soil, into our air as kind of a, go ahead and do that because we really need you in here now. But the second thing I have is sort of how our issue relates to what's going on in Ukraine. They've got a neighbor, a hostile neighbor, and their lines are drawn, and they know what they're fighting over. They understand each other's issue, but at least they're talking. They're trying to come up with a compromise. They're trying to work something out. What we have here with the county is we're not being told anything. We don't know what lines are drawn. We don't know who is possibly coming in here because we're not being kept involved. We're not being talked to like the Ukrainians and the Russians are sitting down and talking. There's no discussion about possible tenants into the IEC area, and that really concerns me. This really sounds like an autocratic type government where it's my way and you don't have a say type of thing. And that concerns me. That is what is going on here. We are being kept in the dark at a time where we should, at least the residents in the area should be involved in any discussion for anything coming in over there. We've been in the discussion with the solar farm people. Thank you so much. That has been very enlightening, and we have come up with some resolutions and some sort of guarantees that they're going to do things along the lines of what we think are appropriate. We just would like more input from local residents in the town, and residents, not our council behind closed doors, the residents of the community on what the direction of the town should be as far as the IEC. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. All right, Cheryl, I see your hand up. What you got?
Good morning. Thank you. I'd actually like to piggyback on what Mr. Crusoe just said.
Cheryl, I'm sorry, it's your duty to give us your name.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Yes, I forgot that. I'm sorry. 17901 Sable Ridge Drive, South Bend, Indiana, 46635. I actually live in Clay Township. I'm in the first district, commissioner district. And sorry that I forgot to do that. I just wanted to piggyback off what Mr. Crusoe said about transparency. And I was just curious as what the criteria is to be nominated for the redevelopment commission. I see that someone was nominated, but I was hoping that there would be information given as to why this nomination was made and what this person would bring to the redevelopment commission, because I know that they're a very important part of our county. Thank you.
Thank you, Cheryl. Any other public comments? Hearing and seeing none, a motion to recess is in order.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Dieter, how do you vote?
Aye. Oh, that's him. I'm sorry.
Mr. Fleming, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Castelny, how do you vote?
Aye. Have good days.